Hey ballers, welcome to If These Balls Could Talk with the trio more excited that they just can't hide it than the Pointer Sisters. This is Mark along with John and Pete. I think I screwed that up, but I think you all get the point.
It was funny. Anyway. Oh no! Hold before we get going. Craig! Hey everyone!
Thought somebody started.
One more time, Mark.
One more time.
Did you start Craig when you said you were going to start Craig? Well, then no one started Craig.
Now recording.
All right, we're going to do this. We'll eventually get this right. Welcome to If These Balls Could Talk with the trio more excited that they just can't hide it. That's right. We're better than the Pointer Sisters. This is Mark along with John and Pete. And as a kind reminder, if you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button down below, or as Pete likes to say, tickle the bell. Tonight, we welcome back to the podcast
You can tickle my bell.
Sadie Campanella. Salutations, Sadie.
Hi.
Hello.
I love alliteration. It's so
much
great.
alliteration. So much alliteration. And I can do it because I haven't had that much scotch yet. By the way, John,
So far.
not a sponsor. This is what I am drinking tonight. I believe, didn't you get me this?
Ooh.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't think so, actually. But that sounds good.
It's okay.
It doesn't have that.
It's not the
it
usual.
doesn't have that smell you'd like.
It's not the usual kind of.
I broke out another
scotchiness.
I broke out another 2X Southern Tier. You can be a sponsor if you want.
That's a classic.
That's my favorite. That is my favorite double IPA.
Going all in.
Yeah, it's
all
right.
backwards.
How's everyone been, John? Why don't you start?
I've been working from home on Thursdays because Mel works again, and it's been kind of great. I don't shower until the afternoon, and I mean, because when you work from home, you can shower whenever you want, and put on some Star Wars and do some work. It's pretty badass, actually.
This might be a TMI, but I've been working from home for a little while. I go days.
Do you know what day it is?
I go days.
Do you know what day it is, Mark?
I do, because we're shooting a podcast right now. That might be the only reason why I know what day it is. But usually, like if I have to play the games, like I have to ask myself when was the last time I showered. That usually means I have to shower.
Ooh.
The real estate gig helps keep me on my toes too, because when you're in public, you kind of have to.
So actually, I have a question
think.
for Mark. Mark, why did you look like a mobster the other day? I have to know.
That is from a wedding that I was at a few months ago. I was the best.
That's a good look on you, bro.
That was a good look.
When I saw that photo, I was so impressed with you, Mark. I haven't seen you look like that ever.
I know. I look pretty nice, all cleaned up, right?
Well, I mean,
Very
you look Italian
intimidating.
because you're Italian.
It's very Italian. A very Italian look. It was an Italian wedding.
Hey.
Amazing.
Pete, how are you, buddy?
Busy. I'm
That's an understatement.
Yeah, I'm trying to put in like 50+ hour weeks while doing everything to get ready for baby and like remodeling the house at the same time.
Baby watch.
That's a smart idea.
I mean, it's totally fine. You should move too. Maybe buy a new house. Just throw it in there.
That'd be the only thing else that I could add to make this more stressful.
That's what Jeffem did, right, Jeffem?
Yeah, right.
He's not here. Yeah. That's what he did.
That's what my parents did. My parents they bought a house when they were younger, and they redid pretty much every single room in the house. There were some rooms they actually redid twice, and then they sold it.
Oh man,
they had that house for 30 years, and they sold it.
Hopefully you can keep
like
up this amount of energy for the next 21 years.
Seriously,
it's required now.
18, maybe 15.
Yeah,
25 if
that'll work.
Melvin's a slow learner.
Depends. Yes, maybe.
I'll manage.
How's Steph doing? Is she doing any better with
a little better?
Pregnancy? Okay.
We had a 34-week ultrasound just a couple days ago, and he's 4 pounds 12 ounces, so he's getting bigger.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
Yep. All the other measurements healthy, heart rate's healthy, everything looks good.
Rock and roll.
He was
Top of the roller coaster, buddy.
He was trying to hide his face by like doing this when we were doing the ultrasound, because he's a little punk, which is hilarious.
That's awesome.
And
He's probably just sleepy.
Yeah,
They're pretty much sleepy for their first 6 months. So.
yeah. That's.
I don't know. I fully expect Pete's child to come out running.
He might. According to my mom, all I wanted to do pretty much out of the womb was bounce. Just endlessly just bounce all the time.
That tracks.
Oh man.
Until I just skipped crawling and just started running around, which was a nightmare for my parents. So I'm prepared for the worst.
There you go. Prepare for the worst.
It'll be what it is.
Expect the best. All right.
Let's get going.
Let's get going. Let's get to know Miss Sadie a little bit better.
Yes.
So now, Sadie, you recently told me that you picked a wedding venue and a date. Please tell us a little bit more about this wedding, as much as you would like to share with our viewers and listeners. And, even we have a great opportunity. We have two of our hosts or our people on the podcast are happily married. And if you would like to ask them any advice about marriage or wedding planning in general, go right ahead.
Oh man. So we did pick a date. It's not like official because we haven't put down the deposit yet. But we're thinking
important.
October 5th, 2025. So we have a little time to put down that deposit.
Because fall weddings are cool now.
Yes, definitely. I like the cooler
obviously.
weather.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, we
so
had
we're
ours
not
in the
all
fall.
sweaty standing up there. Gross.
It's in Vermont. It's in Vermont too.
Oh,
So
that's
Yeah.
gonna be
beautiful.
even better. Yeah.
I
Very
actually
cool.
found the venue because I went horseback riding for the first time in my entire life. And we stayed at Lake Bomacene. And the horseback riding, I don't know if I'd ever do it again. But but the actual place that we stayed at was gorgeous. It was right on the water. There was actually a wedding taking place there while we were staying there. So we got to see the whole setup and everything. The inside where they'd have the reception is like beautiful and rustic. And it's about $10,000 cheaper than anything around here. So we were like, okay, kind of a home run, I think. So we're
That
definitely thinking that
sounds
place.
amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pete,
so we're
Pete
very
just had
excited.
a wedding anniversary. What?
did.
Which one was this? This was 7th,
The 8th.
8th.
Yes. Which we preemptively took a trip
Huzzah.
to Puerto Rico
Huzzah.
for while Steph was
Yay.
still in
For
her
your
second.
That's a great
anniversary?
idea.
Yeah, so we did it during her
Anniversary
second.
/ baby moon, right?
Yeah, basically. It was her second trimester. It was the only week in her entire pregnancy when she had no pregnancy symptoms, so it worked out perfectly. So
awesome.
there's that.
And then John and Melanie have been married for like 18,000 years.
Forever.
But we
Since
met
the
in
dawn of time.
1997, so 26 years together, and we got married in 06, and so what is that? 17 years.
Long time.
Oh, nice.
All I could say,
Yeah.
Sadie, is just enjoy every minute, including like the wedding day. It flies by so fast.
Well, people were saying I'm not even going to remember the wedding day. They were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, don't do this, don't do that. You're not going to remember it." I'm like,
Well, the
"Oh,
party's
but
not
I want
really
to."
for you. The party's not really for you,
Right,
unfortunately.
that is true. I know. It's like you do all this setup and then it's like gone. But
Yeah, I am the type of person though that I really enjoy like hosting things, and I like to let everyone have a good time. So I feel like if they have a good time, I'm gonna have a good time. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So
End of the
But-
day,
Good
just knock the
attitude.
food.
Yeah.
Knock the food out of the park and get a fun DJ.
we did see a pizza bar. There's an option for a pizza bar.
Hell
That
yeah!
sounds amazing.
Yeah, so I know
We went to a
somebody.
pizza. We went to a
like
pizza
that.
wedding. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was like pizza and beer. Like that's the thing right now. Like a lot
Sure.
of millennials, for lack of a better term, a lot of millennials are doing like bar weddings and like pizza bus weddings and like kind of more casual focus on the fun kind of things.
Oh,
I
I
like
did
that.
see just recently that Auntie Anne's, if you write into them and invite them to your wedding, they'll like send you like pretzels.
Pretzels?
Like, yes,
Ah, Jesus,
yes.
I love Auntie Anne's.
That's
Anytime
thinking
there's a
about
rest
it,
stop
like-
with an Auntie Anne's, I kill an Auntie Anne's. I love
Oh,
little
yeah.
pretzel bites.
It's our
We
number
actually
one mall
rock.
stop.
yes.
Not a
we,
sponsor.
we just housed a giant Auntie Anne's pretzel on the way back from Buffalo. So speak of the
They're
devil.
so good. They have no business being so good,
I
but
know,
they are.
seriously. It's criminal.
I mean, they're just covered in butter.
Yes. To
So much butter.
quick fun, like, the kind of style wedding that you guys are talking about. Shout out to Brian and Emily Pitt, good friends of mine that got married also a million years ago. They had a wedding that was essentially like there was a wine or beer tap in the wall, and it was an outdoor wedding, and it was a pig roast. And the groomsmen, of course, had the task of carrying this 100+ pound dead pig onto the grill the night before. That was the most awkward and difficult thing I've ever had to carry.
That's
That
crazy.
sounds so
It-
uncomfortable.
It was really
That's unique.
It was the most unique wedding I was a part of, but it was awesome.
Sadie can
it really came out great.
Sadie is my paisan, so she can understand how my wedding was old and Italian, but the food was great, and we got a good DJ. So the old
Oh,
people
yeah.
had fun, and we had fun.
You guys had a great time.
We had
Great party
we
going
had an ice cream, not an ice cream truck. We had an ice cream cart that
Yes.
came out. People got
that's
little
cool.
ice cream
I
bars
like
from the ice
that.
cream cart. That was fun.
Yeah,
Food was good.
that little extra surprise, right, that comes out late, that's always a huge hit. People are like, oh my god.
Yeah,
like you said, like pizza.
Well, that,
like,
this
there,
is
ice cream.
the Venetian hour. That's the fancies where they do like the fire and stuff.
Yes.
I think our wedding had a champagne march, so they like cut the things off the champagne, which was kind of fun.
Oh, like the swords.
Do you live with your fiance?
Me? Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm the only one. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that helps out. That helps out.
Not
Like,
asking me.
I think the main precept of being married and staying married is that you realize that you're not your partner. I mean, you're just
Yeah.
not. And no
And
matter
we
how much you
learned
like
that
your partner,
quick. Yeah. So we
right?
learned
No
that
matter how
quick,
much you
'cause
like your
we-
partner, they're a different person.
Right. And we actually, so we started dating. We like met on Tinder, but it kind of worked. And then COVID happened like almost immediately after. So because I worked in food service and my parents worked in nursing homes, I ended up kind of just moving in with Pat like almost immediately. And it
was
really
quick.
worked. Yes, it was quick.
Yeah.
It was quick. But I don't know. A million things could have gone wrong, but they all went right. So I was like, I'm not mad about it.
And not to toot my horn, but I really like to say, and I've been saying it for a long time, you stay with the person, because you can have fun with anybody on a Saturday night, but you stay with the person that you have fun with on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Or a Monday morning.
Or a Monday morning,
Yes.
exactly, because
That's-
metaphors are fun.
Yes. Oh, very cool. So
That is a true fact.
So that's a great segue, actually. So we know from the last time you were on the
And
podcast.
we're out of time anyway, so go nuts.
There you go. Perfect timing. We know from the last time you were on the podcast, you got engaged, speaking of your fiance, in Iceland. That's freaking cool. Can you tell us any other destinations that are on your list to visit? And maybe a little bit about Iceland, because I love hearing about it. We want to go back.
Yeah, Iceland was absolutely fantastic. I'd love to go back again and spend more time there because we were originally supposed to spend a couple extra days there, but our flight got canceled and we had to rebook it, and we jammed everything in to just a couple days. But it was really beautiful, and again, he proposed under a waterfall, which was really kind of epic.
Super cool.
Yeah,
Mark showed me the pictures.
yeah, the pictures of me like wet dog. Yeah, they were great. But you did a great job. Thank you. But our other place that we're going, we want to do our honeymoon in Japan.
Ooh,
So we've been-
that's
Hell
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, so we've been doing a little Duolingo trying to take on the
I'll learn some
terrifying
Japanese.
task of learning like
Nothing
kanji and
like
all that.
English.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But it is kind of fun. Duolingo makes like a little game. Again, not sponsored, I'm assuming, right?
No, we wish.
Yeah.
What
Duolingo, you can
parts?
Yeah, any of these would be great.
What parts of Japan are you thinking of going to?
I'm not quite sure yet, but we're gonna try and hit as many as possible. Hopefully we can spend like at least a week there, if not more, so we can kind of, do everything that we
that's super
can.
fun.
So yeah.
What else is on the list?
As far as destinations,
Or any like
Well,
wish list places.
Australia for the Australian Open, obviously. So that's one of ours. That's a big one though, because that's going to be a very expensive trip, I think. But
It's
that's
like
definitely on the
$5,000
list.
just to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like
that's
the longest
that's
flight
a
ever.
Yeah.
so that's a maybe someday.
We have this Mel's cousin, he married into a family with a flight attendant. And so the flight attendant put him on her friends and family list for a long, long time. This is Brandon, by the way. For a long, long time, Brandon was living in the New York area, and Tara was living in Missouri, and they were commuting, had a commuting relationship, but he would just fly. He flew everywhere. And then for a while, Tara was on the East Coast, and Brandon, he got a job in San Diego, and so they were commuting to do that part of their relationship. And so they now live together, and they've lived together for a long time. But it's really good to be on the standby list as far as like friends and family flight attendants. He flew everywhere. He flew to Australia. I mean, he just flew everywhere for either free or very cheap.
Yeah, it was like pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. Yeah. He used to do stats. Like, how many miles did he fly in a given year? Because he just flew so much. And they do the same thing, like you guys and like Steph and Pete. They fly everywhere.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't go anywhere. Ever. So.
Hey, you went to Italy as a kid.
You also just recently came back from a cruise.
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
That is true, but I did not pay for it. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Where was the cruise to?
We went to Bermuda. We did a 7-day cruise, just to Bermuda. So they spent 3 days. We spent 3 days in Bermuda. And we left from New York. It was cool. It was cool to stay there. You could like leave the boat whenever you wanted.
Nice.
Honestly, there were people. They brought golf clubs, and because people who have more than enough money take a cruise to a place and then stay at that place. So they pay for 2 hotels, which is
Wow.
fine.
Yeah.
But we'd be like, where are you playing golf? I'm like, oh, you're playing golf in Bermuda. Okay, that sounds like a good choice.
That would be a thing.
All right. So let's move on and get to some sports. We know the last time you were on that you are actually a tennis pro and coach. Can you tell us possibly how you stay motivated and reinvigorate your lessons to keep them fresh? Also, do you stay in touch with your former players, and are there any good stories?
I do try to stay in touch with my former players. I mean, I kind of, since I've been doing this just for a couple of years now, it's pretty easy for me to stay in touch with them. Yeah, I mean, what was the first part of your question? I lost my train
I
of
don't know,
thought.
Mike.
What
wrote it.
what do you Don't tell them our secrets.
I started thinking about the players and
how do you keep your lessons fresh?
that's what it is.
The second part would be, do you stay in touch with your former players, and are there any interesting stories from them that you can tell us?
So how I stay kind of motivated and fresh on my lessons, I try to go and take lessons myself. You know, I try and go to different clubs. I try and work with different people. I do a lot of reading. I listen to a lot of podcasts about tennis. I really try and absorb myself as much as I can in kind of the world of tennis, both like on the national, like people are talking about this. This is a well-known podcast, kind of listening to, you know, the matches and the commentary in the pros and everything. And really trying to keep active in the community that I'm in as well, you know? So I really try and draw on a lot of different experiences and a lot of different things I read and watch and everything, and, you know, kind of translate them and put them into, you know, palatable things for people.
I guess what is the general like goal of your players? Let's say, are they doing it to learn tennis? Are they doing it to start competing in tennis? What are their age ranges? Like stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of a hard question to answer because
the answer is yes.
Yes, basically. I teach literally like 3-year-olds to like, I think my oldest student might be like 76 or something like that.
Wow, good for that.
So a little bit of everything. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep. Like people that are looking for more competitive, people are looking to just brush up on a certain skill, like literally you name it, whatever, you know. And I really try to kind of dig in and, you know, talk to that person.
Do you have any high school players or college players who are like really serious and feel like tennis might be like a path for them?
I mean, I don't necessarily think as far as like getting to the pro level wise. I do have some really competitive students that are doing really well in the high school circuit right now. Colleges, I coached Rhode Island College for a while, and they were undefeated and went to the NCAA tournament for a couple of years running and everything. Yeah. So
is tennis one of those college sports that gets you scholarships, like one of those like sort of B-list ones that the scams, I mean, not to relate them to the scams, but that the scams used to use, like crew and like sports that people didn't really know about?
I mean, I guess kind of. I mean, Division III, sometimes they try, you know, they'll give you a you know, a merit scholarship for, but you're like, oh, what merit is that for? It's actually just a hidden, like tennis scholarship for you to come there.
Well, yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, they do that, I guess, but
Cool,
I
that's
don't know.
awesome.
I don't think I was supposed to say that.
P can introduce you
okay.
to the Buffalo Princess, Kim Pagula, if you'd like.
The Buffalo Princess. Yep.
Oh,
And it's Jessica
Jessica
Pagula.
Pagula, yes.
Yeah,
Kim's the mom. I knew who you meant.
Yeah, we call her the Buffalo Princess, even though she's a world-class tennis star.
I mean,
And
yeah.
also the
World-class
daughter of
tennis
a
star
billionaire who
and
owns most of Buffalo.
yeah, but at this point, she is both.
Yeah, she is both.
Yes.
All right, shall we get this shindig started?
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
So, anyone got a first topic?
Pete does.
Do I?
I don't know.
And now, start your engines. It's the first topic.
So the Major League Baseball divisional series is ready to go after all 4 teams recently swept their opponents in the wild card round. Surprisingly, the Diamondbacks won their who had the third wild card spot, defeated the NL winning Brewers. Also, the Twins, who had previously lost 18 consecutive playoff games, whooped Pete's favorite team by proximity to Buffalo in the Blue Jays. Now, the Twins are facing the defending champion Astros, Rangers against the AL leading Orioles, Diamondbacks are facing the Dodgers, and possibly the best matchup with the Phillies facing the NL leading Braves. So everyone, what do we think is going to happen in the baseball playoffs?
Oof.
Starting the show off with baseball.
Yeah, I mean,
Baltimore is really good.
Baltimore is really good. 2 years ago, they lost 115 games.
I know, but then Buck
Unbelievable.
Showalter showed up.
what a mediocre rise.
No, this was after Buck Showalter already left, but and now they went over 100 games this year.
To clear this up, I consider the Blue Jays a Buffalo ally, not necessarily
Pete, who's your sport? I know that your sports team is supposed to be your baseball team is supposed to be the Yankees, but this assumes Stephanie's not listening. What's your baseball team?
I don't know. It's kind of whoever you want it to be. The Buffalo City did lend the Blue Jays our crappy AAA field during COVID because Canada was
true,
like,
so they could
we're
play.
Not, yeah, exactly. Which
I want to say Buffalo is closer.
when that happened?
what's that?
Yeah, they did for a little while. I actually want to say that Buffalo is closer to Pittsburgh than it is to New York.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. It's
So
at the
Pete
very
should-
least, it's really close.
Mm-hmm.
Sadie, who's your baseball team?
Well, I mean, besides the Red Sox, who,
The Sox.
yeah, but I have to say in this, I am rooting for the Phillies, I think. I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to do it, but I would like to see them. Partially because my brother is the biggest Phillies fan you'll ever see.
I was going to say, Sadie's brother is a very good baseball player.
Yep. Both my brothers that play baseball are. But one of them is a big Dodgers stan, and the other one is a big Phillies stan. Yep. So they both went to the Dodgers and Red Sox game together. And one of them wore a Dodgers jersey, and one of them wore a Sox jersey, and they pretended to fight. It was a whole thing. They thought it was funny.
That's kind of amazing. That's kind of amazing.
That is pretty funny.
I think Sadie has definitely actually gone to more baseball games than the three of us combined. How many the Red Sox games did you end up going to this year?
I think we went to 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. We took the train and everything too. And it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. And we were able to make the train home. So that was awesome.
I got to teach you my secret. I know of a very good parking spot that's 2 stops away from Fenway Park, and I like to joke that I know about this because I used to date a girl that lived in that area, and I like to joke that that was the only good thing I ever got out of that relationship was finding that parking spot.
So next time you go to a game, tell me so I can get there earlier,
Sure.
and then I'll take that spot from you.
So maybe you and I just go to a game together.
There you go.
Not to bring the Yankees up, but now that the Yankees aren't in the wild card round, the Twins get to the ALDS. But just when was the last time the Twins were in the ALDS?
It's been years. Again, 18 consecutive
long
games that
time.
they've lost. So think about this. If it's like a 1-game series, or this was a best of 3 game series, because they introduced that in the wild card round a few years ago. I have to believe though it's been like 5 series that they've lost, and they do make the playoffs a good amount of time because the AL Central is not a very good division
Because the AL
usually.
Central's bad. It's not
But
very good
I
division.
want to say it's been like
hit
20
500
years.
and make the playoffs.
Yeah, I want to say it's been like 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time, honestly, and it makes the baseball season a little bit anticlimactic, but I have a hard time not seeing the Orioles and the Braves in the World Series, honestly.
It's probably not going to be
I mean,
the
I think
Orioles. It might be the Braves though.
I don't know.
I mean, why
think
wouldn't
it'll
it be the Orioles?
Orioles.
Houston's going to beat the Twins, obviously, right?
Houston.
And theoretically, Baltimore's going to beat Texas, even though Texas was very hot at the end. Texas is playing very good baseball. But, let's just say that the Orioles have been so good that they're going to win. And so does Baltimore beat Houston, I guess is a question.
Baltimore's got to get past the Rangers first, right? Keep him.
Yeah.
No. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see Justin Verlander potentially face off of Max Scherzer. Because I believe Scherzer's hurt, and I think he might be done for the year. I could be wrong about that. Scherzer, by the way, got traded from the Mets to the Rangers, for those that haven't paying attention. And they used to be teammates on the Detroit Tigers a while ago, which they also made the World Series that year, and it was not a very good one for them because they, I believe, got swept by, I want to say, the Cardinals, and they just could not do anything in the field.
Jesus, look at all these Yankees on the Rangers. That's a lot of Yankees. Shit. I haven't realized.
But we'll see. I mean,
We're out of
okay. I'm good with that.
And we'll see.
We can stop at shit. That's a lot of Yankees. I like that.
I was ready to vamp a
Right.
little more, but
You can vamp. I always like when you vamp.
nah,
It's
I'm
all
good.
right.
So Mark told me that you could talk baseball, and I didn't write one baseball question. It's crazy.
It's all right.
You were so
So,
excited when I
to
told you
keep-
that too. By the way, John,
I
you're
wasn't
clipping
that-
again.
Oh yeah.
Am I too close?
I think
I
it's
guess
just,
I don't have to talk so John.
You are.
I
You
guess I don't have
don't.
to talk so John-like.
I don't think you're
Discourse is
usually
being
that
cranky.
close to the mic.
I don't know. I think Discourse is being cranky.
Yeah. Why is
Hey,
everyone else
my
clipping
my producer told me to put the mic towards my face, and so that's what I did.
No,
'cause
that's fine.
He's
Yeah,
You're
no,
not supposed to make out
It
with your
normally
microphone
works.
though.
I think Discord is
Yes,
being cranky. this
am.
time. You sound good.
Yes. All right.
But
Sadie
Let's
does
do a
not
next
look
topic,
amused.
and let's get moving.
get
Let's
to the
get
next
moving.
topic. But first, we give a football update. Chicago's actually winning. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, that was
yeah,
really
that's
bad.
true.
That was terrible.
I really invested
Chicago is
in
winning.
the Commanders beating the terrible Bears, but apparently they're bad at football this week. So whatever.
Even
All
though-
right, so we are going to start with something not sports related at all. So Sphere, the largest spherical structure in the world, just opened on the Las Vegas Strip, and it is incredible. The newest entertainment venue includes 580,000 square feet of fully programmable LED lights. The outside of the building also is a fully functional digital screen and has been delighting the Vegas skyline all summer with eyes, basketballs, moons, and other giant animated spheres. Now, the venue itself is opened. I think the possibilities might be endless. Currently, U2 has a residency there for the first, I think, month, playing the opening show and leveraging the giant screens to add to their show. So, have we seen videos of Sphere? What do we think about this brilliant leveraging of modern technology and architecture? And what's next?
Well,
Doesn't
I
this-
think, imagine the raves you could have there first off,
my
right?
God.
That big screen. Oh my God.
People would
That
trip.
would be insane.
Yeah.
So U2 is playing, right? This is the video, some of the videos that are out right now. U2 is playing, and there is a 200-foot kaleidoscope going on behind them and radiating up into the ceiling.
Right.
So yes,
And the field
that.
of view, like, right, John said there's 580,000 square feet of LEDs. It goes up above everybody's heads. Like, it looks like you're like, I saw what you were talking about, John. There was like some song they were playing and this portal was coming at people, and it looks, it's creepy. It looks like you're going
Mhm.
inside of a weird space portal while U2 is playing the soundtrack.
So I heard there are a lot of really terrible seats, but it is sold out for the whole month and probably going to be sold out for the whole year. I think my favorite part though is like, it has like a sleepy eye, or like it was a giant like yellow smiley face. I mean, it's just so awesome.
So the stuff
So many cool things.
projecting outside the sphere is more fun even than inside the sphere.
Yeah, because they can do anything. It's a
Right.
giant ball. They can put anything they want on it.
Haven't there been
Saw the
memes
moon
now
on
where
it.
people are photoshopping random stuff onto the sphere?
Yeah.
You knew that
Yes,
was
I mean,
gonna
and
happen.
then that's the thing with the kind of clarity and brightness you can do, and it's fully functional. The only thing I don't want to see, and actually maybe I want to see a little bit, is if the computers ever crash and there's a blue screen of death on it. That might be fun for a second.
Oh my god.
lighting up the Vegas skyline
Lighting up the Vegas
with
skyline.
a giant
exactly.
Windows
It's just-
error screen.
Just everything is blue.
Yes.
Doesn't this sound like the most
Everything.
Las Vegas-y thing ever, though? Like,
of course.
could you picture another city having a sphere?
Well, they're trying to make one in London, I believe. They were trying to do it, and there's a big
Really?
uproar. Yep, because they don't want it to pollute, like light pollution.
much
and
I
all
got,
of
I
that.
got,
can
yeah,
see that.
so much light pollution.
Yeah, like Las Vegas,
I
it
mean,
would work, but
Yeah.
not.
It's ridiculous, and it
Mhm.
Yes.
fits in Vegas. I don't know if it fits in any other city.
Yeah, where would it go in London?
I could see
You got me.
Okay.
I don't know.
Would it go like on the Thames or something?
right
like
next to
that?
Stonehenge.
What were you gonna say, Pete?
Yeah.
Where could you see it, Pete?
I could see it in Dubai.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
going
that's
Dubai.
like
That
Yeah, I
sounds like
think
a
so.
very Dubai thing
Right.
too.
That's becoming like Las
most.
Vegas of the Middle East almost.
Yeah, that is a truth fact.
Yeah.
You know, apparently, I heard in Vegas, in Dubai, they have a ski slope inside a mall.
They do.
No way.
It's a small one,
amazing.
but it
That's
is a
crazy.
ski slope. Yeah, it's an indoor ski slope. I forget there's
Not,
actually
not surprised by that at all.
there is one now in the U.S., but Dubai was the first one to ever do it. I forget where it is in the U.S., but I noticed my ski club. They were like, "Hey, first ski trip of the year. Yes, in the summer. Yes, it's to this indoor ski facility." I was like, "What?" The only one I knew about was the Dubai one. I've seen video footage of it. It's crazy. It's legit.
Is the indoor ski facility like even worth it though? Like I feel like
I don't
half
know.
of it is like the scenery.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean,
Not the way I ski.
from a pure skiing, well, yeah. I think if you're just beginning, you want to learn, it's perfect and it's bougie, it's cool. But yeah, the kind of stuff I like to ski, they would never build. No one would be insane enough or could get the insurance waiver permits to build anything that treacherous.
Mm.
So that probably wouldn't fly. But as far as
I don't think you're allowed to do what they just did to Logan Thomas, by the way.
oh no,
It all depends on when they blew the whistle, because forward progress may have been stopped.
I just saw a ragdoll like flopping onto the turf. So
By the way, Sadie, we all watched the football game while we
Yeah.
this is the problem when the
It's right there.
NFL puts a game on while we're recording our
I know,
podcast. How
I
dare
know.
they?
I know.
How dare they?
I can't stop looking at every time they show Ryan Fitzpatrick's majestic beard. I can't stop, but I
He's
can't help
so
myself.
majestic.
He
Fitz
is.
magic.
Yes.
Justin Fields just died.
Oh, poor Justin Fields.
I just
All right.
spilled my beer.
Shall we move on?
Sure.
Yes.
Sphere.
Hope Sweat Montez killed him because I need Sweat Montez to tackle some people. His name is Sweat. What a stupid name.
It's the other way around, you know, right?
I don't care.
Oh God.
I'm good at sports.
Yo, this next topic's gonna hit you so hard, dude. It's gonna feel like Justin Fields after Montez Sweat hit him.
It's Sweat Montez.
Sweat Montez. Sweat, comma Montez.
This just reminds me of the Cameron Jordan Cameron debate that was what we had a few years ago.
Hey, man. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They did that
Was
in
that
a movie.
was that our next topic? It was a
Yes.
commercial.
It was a commercial.
It was a commercial. All
And
right.
yes, it was because who
So-
cares?
Yes.
So rule changes to help speed up the game of a baseball, like the pitch clock, and limiting the number of pickoff attempts, among other things, have definitely sped up the game. Altogether, we saw the average length of a game being 2 hours and 39 minutes, which was 24 minutes lower than last season, and a mark that hasn't been touched in almost 40 years. Altogether, there were
1985. I read this article too.
Altogether, there were 9 games that lasted more than 3.5 hours compared to 390 back in 2021. So, everyone, how good for baseball is it that the average time of the MLB game was 2:39, and could they go even further?
I think it's a great thing. Like, speaking as somebody that, I guess is considered a more recent fan of baseball, I never really cared for it. And I remember telling my brother that I don't get it because all they seem to do is stand around. And there isn't really much athleticism involved, which I take back my words. I do take back my words. I am a big fan now, but I think that rule change really helped people like me, I guess, get into it, because it was a lot less standing around, and it really helped, as far as timing games too. Like like I said, we went to like 4 or 5 games, but we were able to take the train and everything because we were able to like predict this stuff and take the train back. It was easily accessible, and we really enjoyed it.
24 minutes is a lot.
Yeah.
It is.
a lot.
It is
That's
a lot,
a huge
especially
amount
when
of
you've got
time.
the last train leaving Boston at 11, right? And I don't know. I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Way more digestible, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So here are some stats. Attendance overall was up 9.6% compared to last year. Overall, it was over 70 million, which was the most since 2017. And attendance was up for 26 of 30 teams. Batting average was up 5 points, went up to 248. So that's something that they wanted. Runs was up from 9.2%, which was 8.6 last year. Stolen bases were up, which is what they were hoping. In fact, the success rate jumped up to 80.2%. Last year was 75.4. And believe it or not, of all things, home runs were up 12.5% compared to last year.
Wow. So it sounds like the game is more exciting too, on top of being shorter.
Interesting enough, TV ratings were about the same this year compared to last, though. Now that's like a marketing issue, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the people who gave up on baseball because baseball's too long and baseball's too boring, they need to do something to bring them back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Football does very well because it markets itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is exciting, right? Big hits, big catches, big plays, right? A lot of baseball is waiting even quicker. It's waiting. And a lot of the exciting parts of baseball are like non-action. Like strikeouts are cool, but they're not like TV exciting, right? Because a lot of strikeouts are looking. I don't know. I don't know what they do to fix that part of it to make it, what was it in Futurama?
You teach the game a little bit better.
Well, yeah.
You don't teach that everyone's got to hit like a home run every single time. Exit velocity and all that fun stuff that they like to throw around now.
Hal Steinbrenner's going to fire the whole analytics department.
Well,
I'm so excited.
How come Aaron Boone hasn't been fired yet?
I don't fucking know.
How is he still there? I don't.
How has Brian Cashman been able to be below average for 10 years? I don't. They don't pay me to answer the questions. Shit.
They should, right? They should.
Right. They should. I have a lot to say.
I mean, I'm very happy the Red Sox got rid of their god awful GM.
I think
I can't think of right now, but it's we'll see.
Absolute inaction. An inaction that
no plan.
No plan. Absolute inaction in really an inflection point in the season, which caused the Yankees to really stumble and not be able to come back. I mean, when they finally made a move in the last 2 months of the season, and they had the best record since the end of August, the best record in September, the whole fucking league. When they brought up all their good talent and they got rid of all the stupid fuckers that couldn't play baseball anymore. I'm just like, do that when you were 4 games out, not 12.
By the way, John, you know how? So when Jeffem is on the podcast, and I threw out the bet that the three of us, you should have done it. You should have done it.
They were so bad at that point, though. Like incredibly
little
bad.
Did you realize the Red Sox would have been worse?
Yeah, I know. Whatever. I'm glad to see the kids really playing very good. I'm incredibly excited for Jason Dominguez. I think he is going to be a very big name in baseball. honestly.
So one question I do have about, right, you're saying how attendance and everything looks great for these games to hop to the shorter game format, and the ratings aren't really reflecting that. Do you think it's just going to take time? Like, could you see the ratings over the next 3-4 years? If they keep this up, will it start to pick up again, or do you?
I think 20-year-olds are tired of baseball.
Yeah, it's more
No,
like John
I don't
said,
think so.
maybe that,
I think it come
No, I
back.
do.
it needs a spark,
I think
like
it
a
come
bigger
back.
spark.
I mean, what is the, unless you love baseball, what is the value out of baseball? And I love baseball, but I don't really watch baseball anymore because, I mean, the Yankees have been bad for a couple of seasons. I mean, bad, but like they were bad this season. But the games take a long time. It's a lot of waiting. The TV coverage is sort of bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
so Sadie,
I have a lot of other stuff to do.
Yeah. You said you're a recent baseball fan. Like, what drew you into it initially?
Your fiance?
Or that, yeah.
No, actually, I
Oh.
dragged him.
Nice. Rock and roll.
Yeah, again, it's my family because they're big baseball fans, but I think that speaking to that, you know, the increase of audience in person, it's like an event, you know, like it's an experience. It's not just like the sport. Like you go there and
When you go to a
like,
ball game, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, starting the wave that goes around the stadium, you know, like
Oh,
getting
so
the
you're
hot
that
dog,
person.
drinking the beer, like, we went to one and there were two kids that were a couple rows down in front of us. They started the wave and the wave went around the whole stadium. Like, I think it was like 4 and a half
wow.
times, like fully around. Like, it's like cool, you know, and they like toss out the balls to people and everything up in the stands. It's like, it's really kind of interactive, and like being there in person, especially with like, you know, speeding it up so it's a little bit more manageable and like palatable for like other people that aren't just like huge baseball fans. I think that they're like marketing it well in a way that they can, you know, because I do agree that like baseball on TV is a little bit, you know, boring because you're just sitting there, you're not getting like the full experience of it. It's like a 360-degree experience that you're just, you know, seeing in front of you in a 2D version, you know.
You know what's really fun?
It's hard to replicate.
Watching sports in VR is really fun.
I mean, that's what they do.
And
Baseball in VR.
That's the
and
future,
so
right? That's
they
the future.
have VR broadcasts of basketball games and baseball games now, and goggles, which are right there in the background. You can see them.
Yeah. Put
I've
the
done that a couple
MLB
times. That's
finals
pretty cool.
in the Sphere. Make them watch it in the Sphere.
Oh,
In
there
the
you go.
sphere.
In the
I love it.
sphere.
That's a great idea.
And we're done. And we've been
Yes.
done.
I think we have
for
a
little while.
I think we have a title.
I was gonna try to sneak in like what goes beyond VR. Like you gotta get the smell-o-vision thing going on.
Smell of it.
The smells of the game.
Weird hot dogs and
Yeah,
sweaty
the
people.
burnt hot dogs, the popcorn. Yeah.
All right. Sadie, you have next topic?
Next topic, me ask it.
That's fine.
That was good.
She just said it.
Yeah. No, not you. No. Also, you just said it, and we're going to use that soundbite. Next topic is the soundbite that we have the guests do.
Oh, okay. I
you
forgot
want
about that. I remember it now.
But
I was
actually,
like, I didn't know I had to prepare topics.
actually, that was great, and I really liked it, and so we're going to just use it. All right. And so we're going to really lean into this. U.S. Open winner and American darling Coco Gauff won her first match at the China Open this week. This is her first match since winning the U.S. Open last month. She overcame Alexandrov 7-5, 6-3, but said she wasn't playing at her best. This is her 13th now win in a row and raises her to number 3 in the world overall. Do we like Coco's chances in the China Open? Is she becoming the best female player in the world? And what do you think about being a sports superstar at 19?
Ooh, that was a lot of questions. All right. So
I like doing 3. 3 gets us to 5 minutes.
as long as you don't mind me getting a one up.
Hey,
That's
that's
fine.
fine.
So I love Goff. I think that she's playing such a smart game right now. So she's in the quarterfinals right now. She's going to play Sakari. I think her chances to go all the way are really, really looking good. She used to have a lot of trouble with her forehand. She had, a couple of as a young tennis player in such a high like profile position, like, like that mental game is tough. But like what we saw in the US Open, like she loves a fight. Like 3-set grueling matches, staving off like set point after set point, and she was so steady and she took her chances to be aggressive when she needed to. She played defensive when she needed to. And I think she's got such a smart head on her shoulders right now. And I believe if she does win this quarterfinal, she's set up to play Swiatek in the semifinals.
That should be a good matchup.
Yeah, that's going to be an insane matchup. But Goff did beat her recently for the first time.
Yeah.
So I really do think that Goff's going to go all the way here. It'll be tough though because Swiatek's kind of getting back on her game. She lost it for a little bit there. Was
she hurt?
I don't think she was hurt, but she has trouble with players that hit a really aggressive ball and take control of the match early. And I think that was just something that she had to try and overcome. She's been doing better in Beijing, but I still think that Goff's got the tenacity and the overall game right now to take her on.
Yeah, she's got a well-rounded game. I mean, you Sadie, both you and I have said in the past how we weren't 100% sure about her mental toughness during matches, but she definitely showed up during the US Open.
Oh,
I mean, she's got phenomenal conditioning. I mean, she can probably outlast any other female tennis player, maybe even some of the men as well.
Yeah,
that's something I always wondered. Like, well, how come the females don't do best of 5 sets? I could have sworn there was a while ago where there was like one tournament that they actually did do a best of 5. I could be wrong about that, but that's another story. That's another story.
Know. I haven't really looked that up. Yeah, but
how many major championships do we think Coco can win?
So many.
Will she pass Serena?
I mean, at that young.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if she would pass Serena. I think if she stays on course like she is now, she very well could. But it's hard to replicate what Serena did. It's really hard to. But one of the things that I actually just recently was reading about Goff, she gave an interview and she was talking about the haters and how she thrives off the haters. And she takes all of that negative criticism. And she said, my team warned me that I can't respond to these, but she channels it and uses it in her matches, and she finds motivation from that, which I love. It's so hard to be able to do that.
I brought this up in a previous podcast, but now with your opinion, what do you think about the Obamas kind of adopting her? I mean, not like officially, right? Like, but like
not
them
literally.
coming to her match and like talking to her afterwards, and then when they won the Open, they congratulated her on social media, and just like they really feel like she's a good like representative of America, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love it. I think that they're supporting her as they should. As one of the leading females in any sport. Goff's name is very recognizable. Giving her that kind of high profile support definitely should and probably does mean a lot to her.
And what else are the Obamas doing right now? They're not doing anything.
Being Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. I mean,
yeah. They could, right. I mean, they could be spending their time doing anything, but choosing to go follow her career, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's just one of the things, but I think that her being 19, her being a minority, her being so good right now, I just think all that stuff is very important to highlight. I think that's what they're doing.
Mm.
And I mean, yeah, like she looks like physically like she could be in her peak already at that young of an age. I mean, she could be playing for a long time if she can hold up. And it sounds like she's got her mantra, right? Using, like you said, any kind of negative fuel to turn it around as motivation. That's a very socially and mentally advanced thing to do, especially at that young of an age. So that's freaking cool.
Can you give us a little insight? I mean, because Sablenka, who she beat in the U.S. Open, is the number 1 ranked female player right now. How did she win that match after losing the first set?
I mean, honestly, I think that Goff was so super patient. And I mean, if you look at the highlights from that match, there's like one point where Sabalenka literally made Goff run from like one end of the court to the other, to the other, to the other, like hitting overheads, like one of the most aggressive shots you can hit in tennis. And Sabalenka hits the ball hard. She
Very
is one
hard,
of the
yeah.
heaviest hitters. And Goff just staved it off, stayed it off. And eventually, you know, as we saw, Sabalenka made the mistake. You know, you can only sustain that high energy for, you know, as long as you can, really. And Goff made her hit so many.
Wow, she
in a
must.
row.
She's a tall woman too. 6 feet
Mhm.
tall.
Yep,
Wow.
yep,
How
absolutely.
how high, like as far as like trajectory, to someone that tall, how high does the ball come from at that point? I mean, the racket is very tall. Their arms are very long. I mean, that's
Yeah, I mean,
like a tall pitcher throwing, which I know is very hard to hit.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
if she has a long
Well,
arm
I
span
mean-
on top of that too.
Hmm.
yeah, natural advantage. Some of us don't have it. Some of us do. But I mean, if she gets some air on her serve too, that thing is coming in hot. She, yeah, yep. Although I have to say, Ben Shelton, his serve, very impressive.
Oh my
you see how
God.
fast that serve was?
So
Oh
fast.
man, I'm a big Ben Shelton fan too.
Yeah. Tell us before we go, and so that the listeners know, because I have no idea, how fast do serves come in,
I mean,
and how
for the
fast do
pro-
fast serves come in?
I
Like
mean,
an
if
average number and a
you're-
top number.
Yeah, if you're talking like professional, I mean, it's like, you know, probably between the like 115, 120s to like, you know, sometimes the highest amount is like, what was Ben Shelton's?
I think
forget the
Ben
exact
Shelton hit was
number.
in like 140.
Yeah,
I want to say he was in the
somewhere around
140s,
there.
So
yeah,
that's
his was
less
very
than-
which was the
fast.
fastest
Yeah.
that we've ever
Yeah,
seen.
That's
I
gonna be
think
less than
it's,
half a
it's pretty
second.
rare. Yeah, pretty rare for a serve to come in
149.
slower than 100.
According to Google.
My
Yep.
God.
149.
Now-
Mother
now
of
ba-
God.
Now, back in our day when we were a little younger with like Sampras and Agassi, Sampras was a pretty powerful server in our day. And I don't think he ever got in the like top in the 130s. I think he was in the 120s mainly. And Agassi, while he was a shorter player, he could hit it as probably as fast and hard as Sampras, but he was more worried about getting it into getting a good first serve. So he ended up taking a lot off his serves. Believe it or
I
not.
think part of that too, though, is like the technology, like rackets and strings and everything, and tensions and all that stuff. Like, you know, the more advanced it gets, the easier it becomes to hit. You know,
Do
those
you have to
faster
start? I know in
gotcha.
baseball, with hard baseball pitches, you have to respond. You have to start acting before the ball is actually let go.
Mm,
Is it a
yep.
similar thing with that much speed in a tennis serve?
Oh, absolutely. I've been annoying people to absolute death in my lessons because I keep telling them split step before the ball even comes to you, before they even start their swing. You're split stepping, you're getting ready, you're getting on your toes, and they just want me to shut up. I know it, but it's so important. It's so important. Your return of serve will improve exponentially just by getting a little bit of forwards motion started early on in the motion. Like they bring the racket back, you're already going.
Yeah.
It really does help.
That's what I was trying to think too when John was asking about the serve speed, right? What's the distance between one end of the court to the other? It's not that far. And at that velocity,
No.
you're talking less than half a second before
Oh,
that
yeah.
ball,
Yep.
from when that ball hits the racket to when you need to be hitting it back, not just like till it gets to you. Like you have to be ready. Like
Yep.
so pretty much you have about a tenth of a second of reaction time.
That's
yeah.
crazy. And
Yep.
we're done. We are done with this topic.
Yeah.
All right, who's
Time
got next?
for the next. I was doing it. We have time for the next topic.
Now, of course, we can't go this long without mentioning two of our three NFL teams not doing so hot this season. Naturally, we're not talking about Pete's Bills, but in fact, John's Giants and my Patriots. Granted, the Pats didn't have very high expectations, with almost everyone picking them to finish last in the AFC East. But the Giants were a playoff team last year, and our boy Danny Dimes, also known as our measuring stick when it comes to QB contracts, is struggling.
Forever.
So everyone, and I can't wait to hear what John has to say about this, which 1-3 team looks worse right now, the Giants or the Patriots?
The Giants look so bad. The Giants have scored, and I wrote this question too. The Giants have scored 2 touchdowns
Yeah,
in
why
4
can't they
games.
score? Why can't they score?
They've scored 2 touchdowns in 4 games, Mark, and they've only been winning for 14 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
14
I
seconds.
saw that stat. Yeah, that's
Of
insane.
4 games.
You know what?
Now-
This is what I don't understand, John. And I'll let you rant on a little bit more. But what have we been saying was the key to Danny Dimes this year? Darren Waller. Why aren't they using Darren Waller?
Because they have no time. There's no time.
You don't need time.
There's no
Yes,
time.
you do.
No, you don't.
Okay,
There's no
so
time.
I'm going to get my momentum up, all right?
All right.
Remember, take a
There
step
is no
back.
quarterback.
Brace yourself.
No quarterback. There is no person who can be good at anything if they only have 3 seconds, and really in most cases 2, before a giant angry armored man kills them. There's no one.
I love how you describe
And we
that.
know this is a fact. And this is how we know this is a fact. The Super Bowl that Patrick Mahomes lost, tons of pressure. Both Super Bowls that Tom Brady lost, tons of pressure. I mean, it just, you get, I read a statement, you get literally trauma, right? You get shy. You just like are so afraid of getting murdered that you just can't focus on your job. And that's what's going on right now. The Giants offensive line is abysmal.
So what is
They-
different? What is different between this year's offensive line and last year's, though?
They let so many people go.
Did they?
On the line.
Built the team, and I say this about
They got to pay Danny Dimes, right?
the team functionally doesn't make any sense. They let go important defensive pieces and important O-line pieces, and you can see, right? I mean, shit. Saquon Barkley gets hurt in week 2 because of a terrible offensive line. The Giants don't actually even really score or do anything in game 1 because of a terrible offensive line. What I find really interesting, and I said this to you guys earlier, is that there are a whole bunch of defensive players and linebackers on their social medias making a lot of jokes at the Giants' expense, which are funny. But you know what? Micah Parsons on the Dallas Cowboys is defending Danny Dimes every chance he gets. He's like, listen, do you really think this is this guy's problem? And he's showing pictures of literal missed blocks. Just missed blocks, 10-second videos of just guys running straight at him.
Yeah.
Because it's the problem.
I'm not going to lie. I would be embarrassed if I was responsible for that offensive line after this Monday night game that just occurred. It was like the line gave up.
Yeah. And maybe they're getting their asses kicked so hard that they're just gassed towards like even the middle of the game. And so you don't score points, right? And so then, I mean, because football is incredibly psychological too. You don't score any points. And so the defense has this weight of keeping the whole game on their shoulders. And even if the defense is good, and it's really not, then the defense has problems. They lost. I heard this stat too. They are so dysfunctional that they injured 2 players trying to do, and I'm going to use the second term for it, the brotherly shove. So they tried to do the brotherly shove in this last game on a 4th and 1, and they failed, and they lost 2 players. Daniel Bellinger injured himself, and one of the offensive line members injured himself, and they both came out of the game because they're like a bad movie. They're so fucking dysfunctional. I can't stand it. I can't even watch. Anyway,
all right. I'm sorry.
You want me to rant on about my Patriots now?
Yeah,
Yes,
I didn't give you a lot of time.
Rand. Let's go.
So the Patriots have just lost their 2 best defensive players in Matthew Judon and Christian Gonzalez to injury. Matthew Judon tore his bicep. I forget what Christian Gonzalez did, but he's out for a while too. So you have the 2 best defensive players are now gone on a team that was already really not that good, but was really relying on their defense to be good. So now, if you don't have a good defense and you don't have the personnel on offense, at the very least, Mac Jones has a decent offensive line, but he has no one to throw it to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much you can do with scheme. There's only so much you can do with scheme, and I'm just really disappointed with the fact that Belichick has just staying with his whole scheme of not paying top dollar for certain talent. Like I think we have a much different story if D Hop was on the Patriots. And I wonder, is D Hop happy being on the Titans right now? Titans aren't doing so great either.
Probably not. But well,
They looked good last week.
Maybe
And they look good last week.
if he just wants money, then he's happy as can be.
Henry was a little injured, 1 and 2,
Yeah.
and they won. I think they won 3 and 4.
I gotta say, my sympathies to Judon. I've always liked him. He's a baller. Like,
He's a phenomenal player.
he's awesome, and it seems like he's got a good attitude about it. Like he's just a killer out there, but in the best spirited way possible. Like he is football.
And the Patriots haven't had the easiest first 4 games of the schedule. I mean, they faced the Cowboys,
Yeah,
they
it's
faced
been-
the Dolphins.
Where's Zeke? You went and got Zeke. Where's Zeke?
He's been used,
he's
but they've been down, so they have to pass it
Yeah.
more. And they have they have some okay receivers, but not the ones where are game changing.
It's a stable of WR2s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Grabbing
essentially.
Zeke made me scratch my head. That's a very unpatriots like move. Like I could have told you Zeke.
Oh, I think that's a very Patriots
You think
move.
so?
That's a very Patriots move.
So
They got it for $4 million.
I mean, yeah, that's a good
cheap
deal, but
that's cheap.
I could have told you before the season started that this is exactly how Zeke was going to look. He's not the same player he was 4 years ago.
No, he's
and Juju's old, and Devontae Parker's pretty good. Kendrick Bourne is okay.
I mean, they have
Juju's washed up.
Now,
for sure.
The Patriots have been in most of the games, with the exception of the Cowboy game. That they were in it. They had against the Eagles. They had a last second
Cowboys
one.
Are terrifying.
Almost got the Eagles win.
And the Dolphins, they had a chance to be
terrifying?
the Dolphins too.
Yep.
So all in all, should I really be all that down on the Patriots right now? Because they've been in 3 of the 4 games that they've played.
Yeah,
The Giants haven't had a chance to beat
The Giants have
anybody.
not had a chance.
Poor
They
Giants.
can't score.
So 1 and 4. No, 1 and 3.
Yep.
1 and 3. Probably 1 and 4 after Miami beats them. Do you tank for Caleb Williams? But how many people are tanking for Caleb Williams?
Yeah,
Right.
and you just gave Danny Dimes a contract.
Right.
But if he's
that
garbage,
Literally.
hasn't stopped.
Literally just gave Danny Dimes a contract.
I think the Bills.
Caleb Williams is going to be a lot cheaper than Danny Dimes.
I think the
tell you
Bills
what.
dumped Fitzpatrick the year after they gave him a huge contract.
By the way, John, what are we going to bet when the Giants and Patriots face each other?
I don't know. Sadness points.
Just. I will say that
I was talking a big game too, wasn't I, before the season started?
Yes.
But
So it's a big game.
I am not an unreasonable man, and I know when I'm beat, and they are bad. They're bad.
For a quick answer to the question, though, I think the Patriots will round into form and at least get 7 or 8 wins. The Giants, I don't think so, unless something seriously changes. It's sad to see.
It's very early.
Well,
season.
Barkley's going to come back this week, and theoretically, the only game that they looked even halfway reasonable, he had a great game. So,
Yeah.
Sadie, did you end up buying those Patriots tickets that you were looking at?
No, I got dissuaded.
Yeah, because it's expensive to go to a football game.
I mean, it's expensive, but also I'd like to see them not get brutally murdered on the field.
At least the Patriots are always coached well, so it's respectable. But I hear you.
Yeah, I've been bothering Mark with TikToks that are edits of some of the most embarrassing moments from games, and I have to say there are a surprising amount of them. As a not too much into football person, I do laugh when they come across my screen, and then I send them right to Mark and say, "Are you proud of this?"
So, John, a quick final question for you about the Giants. So you're mentioning, the Waller is their shot, but he hasn't really been used yet. Do you think he's still got some lingering effects from his injury that he started the season with? Or do you think he's 100% and there's just no time to get to him?
I have not seen Daniel Jones make
It's hard to say, yeah.
Yeah.
even a semblance at starting a series or even like getting first downs. I mean, they're just really not throwing very well right now. And I don't think it has anything to do with the receivers. Honestly, I think the receiving core is very good. I think that Jalen Hyatt is scary fast. And I think if they used Hyatt the way they did in the Arizona game, and they used Waller the way they did in the Arizona game, and Barkley was back, and they used Barkley the way that they did in the Arizona game in the second half, I don't necessarily know if they're bad in those circumstances, but they're not doing any of that.
It's early, and I still say you don't really know what a team looks like until after October.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's still early.
It's
Yeah.
getting a little less early though, Mark.
You're getting a little less early.
We're almost through the first quarter of the season.
And we're done. And I love
All
that.
right. Yeah, you can chop out my little bit there. It was much better the way you guys ended it.
I need them to score. I need one of my guys to score.
They almost just scored.
Almost.
That wasn't Terry McLaurin though.
No.
Well, also Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson just got a first down, and Terry McLaurin got the ball a little bit.
Dude, he's been sitting on my bench. I need to find a way to get him into my roster.
It's like the RB8.
I know. I picked 12th. I have RB 3, 6, and 8. Somehow. I don't know how.
Your team is better than mine.
This is
gonna
all
lose to you
all
this
of your
weekend.
faults.
Sadie, I think you should start playing fantasy football. By the way, I think you might
I
like
don't
it.
even know where to begin for that.
Hey, I mean,
I think you might like it.
that's how my
Hey,
wife,
we know.
my wife turned into a football monster in 1 year by just joining a girls'
Also-
fantasy league.
We know of someone who runs an all-girls fantasy football league that you could probably join if you
I
want.
heard about that. I
this is
did.
true.
Yes.
We know somebody, and they have
I
different
know.
players every year because they're women
Yeah.
and they don't play every year in a row. So,
For sure.
Yeah.
all right, give me next topic. We got to keep moving.
Oh, me? Oh my God.
I mean, you don't have to do another one.
If you
Pete
got
can
one
do
ready.
one, or Mark can do one. Anybody can do one.
Yeah, Mark,
Or we-
why don't you do one?
Okay, I got one for later.
All right. If you smell, the next topic is cooking. That's a
Well,
rock
that's-
reference.
Well done.
That's
I
That
got
was
it.
pretty good, man. I think we have that
Yeah.
one, but it was a little different.
No, I've
And so-
done other WWE stuff.
Mm.
And so, because I have said the name of college football god, we will speak of him. Keeping up with the NFL draft is always a full-time job, and as name, image, likeness grows, the celebrity of players become more and more prominent. The biggest thing out of next year's draft is certainly Caleb Williams, QB from USC. Since transferring from Oklahoma 2021, so one full season ago, Caleb has lit teams on fire with 8,052 total passing yards and 84 touchdowns in his really 2-year college career. The clear Heisman Trophy winner this year, Caleb is already worth $2.6 million in his NIL contracts and can safely be bet as next year's #1 pick to the NFL. What do we think about Caleb Williams, his future in the NFL, and what NIL and the transfer portal has done for his career?
I mean, you know what the funny thing about this, and I believe we've mentioned this on the podcast before, is he potentially might not enter the draft next season because of NIL. He wants to see how everything plays out, and he wants to see who that number
And
one.
he doesn't want to be a bear or a giant.
He doesn't want to be a bear or a cardinal.
Or a cardinal.
Which, you got to think about that. Like, so someone who gets the number 1 pick is going to be a bad team. So he's been like contemplating. It's like, well, maybe I'll just stay in for another year because of NIL. He's making a good amount of money.
He has a
with his name.
serious amount of like commercial contracts, like an energy company, and
Wow.
he has a shoe deal. And he's really his team must be very, very good. He's very, very good at business.
Oh yeah, USC's high-ranked.
Last weekend, at the bar, Pete and I were at a bar last weekend. At the bar, I literally was getting a beer, and the USC game was on, and I look up, and they're winning by 40.
Yeah.
And it's like the second quarter.
Was this against Colorado?
Yeah.
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 I looked up
Team
and saw
is-
that too.
The team is ridiculous. And it's
USC
because of
is a
him.
top 10 team.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
And so you know why he transferred from Oklahoma?
Because he wasn't playing.
No, because he followed his coach.
Oh,
shit.
Lincoln
That's cool.
Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley was on Oklahoma. He became the head coach of USC last season.
Interesting.
And so he joined, which I actually think this is a possibility. Caleb Williams jumps to the NFL next year. Lincoln Riley, his head coach, also jumps to the NFL.
Interesting.
Think about that.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, if that's the reason that he moved in the first place, and if Lincoln Riley does go to the NFL, then I would say, bet all your money in Vegas that he will too. But from what John's saying, it sounds like he's in no rush. There's no need for him to go pro right away. He's doing pretty good as is. Is he good enough of an athlete in any other sport to where he could pull a John Elway and be like, well, this baseball team just drafted me, so I might do that? until the football team that drafted him trades him to another football team.
There's so many comparisons between him and Patrick Mahomes, which I think is unfair. Because
Patrick Mahomes wasn't compared to Patrick Mahomes when Mahomes
that's
was
true
drafted,
too.
right?
That is a true fact.
Otherwise, the Bills would have drafted him at the 10th pick instead of trading it away to Kansas City.
I know.
Wow. So he has sponsorships with United Airlines, with PlayStation, with Fanatics. So like Tops. He has like a lot of very, very good deals.
Wow.
Now, granted, those deals aren't going to go away if he jumps to the NFL because it's tied to him. We'll see. You know what? I just realized though, we didn't talk about you guys hanging out in Buffalo and all the bars that you went to.
We just did one.
We only went to one, but it was great.
It's a good one.
Was it the one with all the TVs?
No, we went to the Hamburg Brewery.
Okay. Less than half a mile from my parents' house. I could have walked there. But
we sat outside.
Yep. I remember that place.
I'll put a picture up on the website of our hangout.
Yep, by the big pond and the fountain on the nice deck there.
It was like 75.
Yeah. Sadie, have you ever been to Buffalo?
Haven't.
Would you like to learn from Pete, who is from the Buffalo area, about Buffalo? You have no choice. Pete, go ahead.
Okay.
I think we need a separate topic for this.
Talking about Caleb Williams and football.
Somehow this turned into Buffalo. I don't know how that happened, but that's fine. No, the city is slowly but surely revitalizing itself. It was a garbage dump from the 70s through the 90s, and now it's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of tons of neat bars. There's some actual nightlife now. The Pagulas, hence Jessica being the princess of Buffalo, have breathed a lot of life and money into the city. So you have these like posh 7-story hotels that were built with multiple hockey rinks inside of them where the NHL Combine now goes every year. Right. You've got this gorgeous waterfront that's actually being developed now. The sunsets there in the summer. Gorgeous, by the way.
You know what shocks me about Buffalo? And so we have two remote sites in the Buffalo region. We have one in Buffalo proper, but one in the southern tier of Buffalo. What shocks me about Buffalo when I go there for business is the food is so good.
Food is good. All good.
More than just wings.
So good. There's so many really nice, almost high scale places. And it's interesting when you walk around downtown Buffalo, nobody's there. It's never there.
There are parts of it that are still a ghost town for sure.
And so like it's so easy to get around in Buffalo, and it's like a medium to large size US city. It's like a lot of stuff, a lot of buildings, theoretically a lot of people maybe during the workday. And so the people who I talk to in the Buffalo area, not just Pete, they say, don't tell anybody about Buffalo. Buffalo is the biggest kept secret in New York, essentially.
What's fascinating is it's a city that has the infrastructure built up for more than about 750,000 people, right? It was one of the top sized cities population wise in the country. This is like 40 years ago. That infrastructure is all still there, but the people aren't. They've all migrated outward into the suburbs and even the second ring of suburbs. So the greater Buffalo area is well over 1 million people. I think it's like 1.4 or something now. But the city itself is under 300,000. It's empty. But there's all this cool stuff there, and there's so much.
There's a lot of good stuff to do.
Buildings, So you're seeing a lot of breweries.
What would you suggest we do if I were to take a trip there? What should I do?
Go to a Bills game.
Yeah, go to a Bills game. It's the cheapest NFL tickets you can possibly get.
It's very cheap to go to a Bills game.
Sabres game too. Hockey. If your favorites like Boston Bruins, if they're in town, they're in the same division. They play a lot. So if you want to catch the Bruins,
we actually did Pete's bachelor party in Buffalo.
We did.
Oh really?
We did a little pub crawl.
A bunch of bars. So
you can eat some wings. Yep. You can go to Niagara Falls.
Yeah, Niagara Falls is right just north of there.
There you go.
I highly recommend that if you've never been.
I got you, Sadie.
All right, now I'm going to Buffalo.
Yep.
I'm speaking your language. 716 isn't the bar anymore. Remember? Southern Tier bought it. It's like a Southern Tier.
Oh, okay. So
pub.
well, anyway, it's the bar.
The Southern Tier brew pub in downtown.
Yeah. Okay. Riverworks is always good.
Did I tell you that, or did somebody else tell me that?
Somebody must have told you. I didn't know that. You can.
I remember hearing that on this podcast. So
you can like rappel down the giant 200-foot high Labatt Blue painted beer can silos that used to be like grain elevators.
You know what,
There's
though?
some
I've
crazy
got to
shit you
start
can do
doing
there.
that, though, because me and Pat are going to try and get on the Amazing Race, and we got to be ready to do
Oh.
that kind of stuff. So
Yes. Steph and I auditioned
we're going to
for
go to
that
Buffalo
once.
to prepare.
That's
Did you
good.
really?
Oh, yeah, you should.
We didn't make it, but, but
Oh,
it was
that's
fun.
so
It was fun to
cool,
audition.
though.
You know, we got interviewed by them.
How
and
far in the
everything.
process did you get?
I mean, they gave us a full interview in front of the cameras and everything, and we gave our spiel, and they asked us a bunch of questions, and we thought we had a good story. They were laughing, but we never heard back. But it was still fun to do.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because
Any
it didn't
tips
seem
for
like
us?
you were. It didn't seem like you were gonna.
You need to argue.
Yeah.
You seem like you don't like each other that much. Honestly, I mean that's probably why they didn't get picked because they seem too normal.
Yeah.
Don't seem normal.
We had some good stories, but yeah, right. Maybe we didn't cause enough drama, right?
That's true. Get in a fight in front of the cameras and make up and act out.
I mean, because you're not
A soap opera?
this season has the dad who's deaf. I mean, you're not deaf, and you don't have like
I'm
Right.
their biggest fan. I'm their biggest fan. I
They
have to
seem
say.
great, by the way.
Yeah,
I
they seem
love that team.
awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Quick final note in Buffalo for wings. Don't Anchor Bar is where they were born. It's not the best wings. Do like Bar Bill. My personal favorite is right in Hamburg because I'm a bit of a hometown sucker, but Mammoser's, it's like a dive bar in the village of Hamburg. Pretty awesome.
I like Duff's. You always bring me to Duff's.
Duff's
I
is
like
pretty
Duff's.
good. Yeah, and they have like goofy, like America's Funniest Home Videos reruns on a bunch of screens up on the TV all the time.
Their sauce is awesome.
Yeah.
And we're out of time.
We're way over.
Hey, you guys.
Don't you love? Did you
I
love the
told you
progression of that topic though?
Yes.
It went from
We didn't
Caleb
talk about
Williams,
football at all.
Caleb Williams to Buffalo.
Well, we did.
to,
Caleb.
I didn't
Amazing
even
Race.
remember his name.
It's hard when Caleb is like the undisputed, like John said, the college god of football right now. I mean, he's gonna go number one no matter what.
He's
if
going to
up
make
for the draft.
at least one, if not 2 or 3 or 4 teams tank. Honestly. He
Yeah.
is.
But they already are.
And that's
I mean,
actually an article I
already
read
started.
today.
Yeah.
They've already
I
started.
read an article today about all the teams that might tank for Caleb Williams at
Yeah.
this point.
I mean, Arizona, Chicago, the Giants now, maybe.
Maybe.
I'm sure there's one other one that I'm. Oh, Denver, right? Any one of those could be gunning
Denver
for this, right?
Fucking Denver. All right, do a thing with the stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this, I will love it if any of you get this reference. I love what you do for me. Next topic.
That sounds familiar.
It should.
Anyway,
It's an earworm. It was a 90s Toyota car commercial. Love
Oh, that's not
you
what I
do
thought
for
it was.
me, Toyota.
not a
Not
sponsor.
a sponsor, but you could be.
But it could be.
So for some reason, Roger Goodell has had a change of heart when it comes to gambling in NFL facilities. He decided to shorten the suspension for those that gamble on non-NFL games from 6 games to 2 for the first violation, which also resulted in reinstating a handful of players that initially got doled out the harsher penalty this year. Now, it's not all roses and sunshine, though, as longer suspensions exist now for wagering on NFL games, going from 1 year to 2 year suspension. So, everyone, why do we think the NFL altered its gambling policy, and what messages does it sound or send?
I mean, I think everybody's gambling, and they don't want to
Everybody's
suspend
gambling.
They don't want to suspend all their players.
Seriously, everyone's gambling.
Right?
Mhm. There's way less
'Cause-
taboo about it in the public, so therefore the league needs to adjust.
But why decrease the penalty for betting on non-NFL games? Why? Why not just get rid of it?
I mean, I don't know why they
True.
can't bet on non-NFL games.
Maybe it's
Exactly.
a step. Hopefully it's a step to that, but
I mean,
guess
it's
we'll
not
have to
like
see.
they can adjust. I mean, it's not like they are in charge of the results of a baseball game or a football game,
Right.
or a football game or a basketball game or a hockey game. It's not like they can do that. I mean, maybe they run in similar circles. Like maybe Danny Jones knows Dark Cheater, like, but maybe he doesn't. Like, who knows?
You think
right?
that happens?
I don't think he gets to hang out. I think he
Right.
like if he goes to Derek Jeter's mansion in Tampa, he gets to maybe park the cars. Maybe.
You can clean up after him.
Mr. Jeter, can I come inside?
Right.
No,
Nope.
no.
That's exactly what I picture when with Daniel Jones and Derek Jeter hanging out with each other.
That's amazing.
It seems like you guys are having a lot of fun.
Just
Just keep parking the cars,
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Has anyone here tried either like FanDuel or DraftKings or anything like that?
I love the Caesar Sportsbook in New York. It's
Caesars?
fucking great. It's great. You can bet on your phone, right? And DraftKings and FanDuel have the same thing. Anything you want. Every game shows you. Every prop bet right there. And I mean, Mark knows because Mark likes to gamble, but I like to gamble.
Yeah.
I want to. You know
I'm
how
thinking
I
of
think
it.
we've made it when we've made it to like the FanDuel or Caesars. We have like a prop bet for if these balls could talk, like how
Yeah.
long the show is going to be or something like that.
Long.
Somebody I knew.
The bet is long.
I'm seriously thinking about it because someone that I knew turned $20 that FanDuel gave them into 800 in a couple days. Like,
Yeah.
that's okay.
How
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Pete, how in touch you are with football right now? I bet you would do very well.
I'm seriously considering it if I got a little fun money.
You should. Sports betting is really fun, honestly. And actually, honestly, gambling is really fun. I love to gamble. I love the horses and I love blackjack. And Colin is going. Hey, Colin. Colin is going to Las Vegas for his his wedding.
Oh.
He's getting
I
married.
thought you said
in
the
Vegas.
bachelor party.
No.
Oh, so the
for his-
wedding is in
the wedding
Vegas
is
now.
in
The wedding is in Vegas, and so he's been learning crap strategy. So he was like, "How do you play?" I'm like, "Well, this is what I play for craps."
I could totally see
Sadie, what?
Colin and Noel.
Sadie, what about you? Do you dabble in the gambling at all?
I don't really. My little brother tried to get me into it. And I don't think he's been very successful at it though. And I know I wouldn't be either because I literally could guess wrong 800 times in a row and guess wrong again on the next one.
You know
I
what a
could
good
teach you.
feeling-
I could teach you how to play blackjack.
You know what a good feeling is, though? This is a
What?
good feeling, and everybody likes this. You go to the racetrack. You take $2. You bet it to show. Show is first, second, or third on a horse that you like the name of. Like it doesn't matter because it's $2, and you win. And you don't win a lot for show, right?
I don't win.
But you win because the horses aren't random, but there's some randomness to it. Like a horse could get scared of his shadow, right? Because they're animals, and you go when you get your money, and I mean everybody likes that. It's just entirely positive.
It helps you.
Sadie,
I
you
can see that. I can see that making sense, except
Yeah.
for Mark cutting in and being like, "I don't ever win ever." So,
all right. One of my all-time favorite stories with me and John, by the way. So John, he loves betting on the horses. Okay, he usually wins. With the only time he doesn't win when I go with him.
Oh, no.
That is.
so it's you. You're saying it's You're the problem.
So one thing that John
You
and
have
our
to
friend
tell.
Jeff.
You have to tell them the story now.
Yes.
So go.
One thing that John and our friend Jeffem like to
Hey,
call
Jeff.
me is the cooler. Now, the cooler was a movie with William H. Macy and Monica Bello. I forget what her name is now. Monica Bello. Thank you. Anyway, a cooler is someone that is at a casino. He will just touch a table or whatever like that, and then all of a sudden it becomes cold.
Wow.
And so I have been nicknamed the cooler because essentially any bet that I will make, or if I'm around, apparently people that usually win, they lose.
Sadie and Pete. There was a long time where Mark had to play a blackjack on a different table than Jeff and I.
Uh-huh.
Just
Would not let me be there.
It would just go cold.
He would
Would
come
not let
by
me
and
be
we'd be
there.
like, "Oh, it's probably nothing," and he would come by and we'd be killing.
So
he'd
why
come
are you
by.
offering to help me, Mark? Stay
And,
away
like-
from me.
They still know the strategy.
That's amazing. He
Well,
just has to
actually-
do it virtually from afar.
Of casino games,
Okay.
a well-played game of blackjack is mostly win. You can definitely win if you play blackjack right, and you don't have too many assholes playing it wrong.
Right.
That's also why in blackjack, if you play wrong and you're in a casino, there might be an old
People get
Italian
mad at
man.
you.
There might be an old Italian man that yells at you, and it's okay because he's just cranky.
Yeah. The
And we're out
very
of
first
time.
time I went to a casino, I was standing there and I was super young and super stupid. So I took a picture of the entire place, like, oh, cool. And the old Italian man came up to me and said, "Hey, delete that." And I was like, "Oh."
Did you end up in jail?
Oops.
Did you end up in casino
No.
jail?
No, but I'm
Casino
pretty
jail.
sure he wanted to
Worse
put me
for
there.
that. No, he
Yes.
didn't want to put you in jail. He wanted to make sure he didn't have to murder you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
little,
The guy who walked up to you, he doesn't play.
yeah, no. So that taught me a valuable lesson that day.
That's so funny.
I believe we are going to a casino very, very soon, though. So maybe we try a little luck at the tables, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, I was planning on it. I wasn't
Good.
planning on taking a photo of the place, though.
No,
So
don't do
we'll
that.
We'll be good.
If you
Yeah.
like your fingers, you should not take photos in casinos.
So here is John's guide to gambling, and it's very easy.
do it.
Pick a game and choose how much money you would be willing to lose at that game. Just pick.
Mhm.
$40, $60, $100, it doesn't matter. And put that money and turn it into chips or however you're going to play. And play that money. And then every time you win, take half of it, half of your winnings, and take it and you put it in your left pocket. Every time. So every extra goes in your left pocket. And eventually
I don't
you have
do that.
you have $100 in your left pocket. And then once you have $100 in your left pocket, you can take that money that's in front of you. You can play it as much as you want. And maybe if you win another $100, maybe you start taking money out again. But the way to stay always good is to always just manage your cash flow. That's it.
Excellent. Assuming that there is a cash flow and it's
Yeah,
not just
no.
exit.
If you play
chips,
blackjack,
right?
blackjack is hard to lose every hand, honestly.
Okay, perfect.
You have to really try.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes
We've
not
been
even
done
that.
like 10 times, so let's be done.
It's fine.
Okay.
John, do
Somebody
you,
ha-
remember, do you remember I lost $200 in 10 minutes on your bachelor party?
I was
Dang.
very drunk during my bachelor party. I do not remember any of it.
Did you guys
I'm
also
just gonna
find a
say-
super secret amazing bar that you couldn't find the next day?
Oh my god, now I have to tell this
Yes!
story. Okay,
Sorry.
very quickly.
I just
very
extended
quickly.
the topic. Extra topic
Very quickly,
time.
because it's very important. So, if you guys have ever seen Beer Fest?
Beer Fest.
Beer Fest.
Yes,
in Beer
it was
Fest,
Beer Fest.
there was a moment in Beer Fest where they found the best bar in all of Germany. The best bar was perfect. The drinks were perfect. They were the perfect temperature. They were the perfect price. Everybody was really nice. And they went back. They tried to go back in the same place, and they remembered there was this place, and it
couldn't
wasn't
find it.
there. They couldn't find it ever again until they got drunk again, and then they found it again. And so my bachelor party was in Atlantic City, and we went to a lot of places, and we drank a lot of stuff. And at one point, very late at night, we weren't done. And so we were all very drunk, and we walked down the boardwalk, and we turned on a random alley, and we found that bar. It was great. Everybody was really
great.
Perfect
nice.
bar, right?
It was
drinks
such a
were
good
really-
bar.
The drinks were really good. The waitress was really nice. I drank something called the Four Horsemen. I remember that drink very well.
Mm-hmm.
The Four Horsemen, better than the Three Amigos, which was Jack, Johnny, Jim, and Jose.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
It
How
was
are you
very bad.
alive?
I don't know. I don't know.
He lived to tell the tale.
And I remember.
But
God,
yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
So Mark and I went back to Vegas maybe that summer after the summer
You
after.
mean Atlantic City?
Atlantic City. We went back to Atlantic City, and we went down the same direction on the boardwalk, and
Yep.
we tried maybe the same alley, and it wasn't there. It just
Couldn't find
wasn't
it.
there. It wasn't
Couldn't find the
there.
bar.
Amazing.
We swore it was down that alley.
Yep. We're just like,
oh yeah.
it
Weird.
was here. It was totally here. Anyway, now we're done for sure.
Amazing.
So let's be done.
Whose turn is it?
It's mine.
Okay.
Next topic. Hurry.
We're
All right, done. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because it's actually, you know what? We were gonna say one, but we're gonna do the other because it's important. Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua is making the NFL look easy. Through 4 games, the rookie 5th round pick is putting his name in the record book. And so check these stats out, guys. No receiver in league history has caught more passes in his first 4 games. On top of that, Nacua currently leads the NFL in receptions, and his 501 yards are second only to Vikings Justin Jefferson. Nakua is on pace to have over 2,100 receiving yards this season, which would smash the record of 1,964 set by Calvin Johnson in 2012. So, with an exciting win against the Colts at 2-2, is Matt Stafford and the Rams back after their Super Bowl hangover with the addition of Nakua? Why is he so good? And most importantly, how did we even, because Mark's here, allow Pete to snatch him up from waivers? I know I put in a claim. Look at that evil laugh. I love that evil laugh.
So it'll be very interesting what happens with Puka Nakua. By the way, one of the most fabulous names in football.
I love it.
Cooper
How
Kupp
many
is...
Samoan... 1 second. How many Samoan offensive players do we have?
Like in
Tua?
history or this year?
Like that I remember of?
Isn't
Like
Tua
Tua, sure.
Samoan?
I mean Troy
He may be the only
Palomola,
other.
right?
Yeah, that's a short list.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, it's
10?
a very short list.
They always
Alright,
play
but-
defense.
But Cooper Kupp is set to return potentially this weekend. So all those
You cannot put him on top.
Don't stop the Puka
but
train.
here's the thing, though. Puka is probably going to lose a lot of targets because Cooper Kupp is back.
Yeah.
Now, even if they still try to target him more, he's still going to be number 2. He's going to be the wide receiver in a lot of respects. He's going to be 1A if you want to call it.
Yeah.
So he's probably now if Cooper Kupp stayed hurt for the rest of the year, potentially he could break Cooper Kupp's records. But
Calvin Johnson's records.
At the pace
yes,
he's
well,
on,
Cooper Kupp
yeah.
has a reception record, right?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
I think Cooper Kupp has a receptions
Right.
record, but Calvin Johnson has a yards record.
Yes. That's very possible.
So yeah, Cooper Kupp again
Both.
coming back. So that offense is going to change a little bit. It's going to revolve a little bit more around Cooper Kupp, more than likely, assuming he's healthy.
If he's still got it. I mean, this is...
He probably still has it.
Yeah. I think we see the marriage right now of a talent that everybody underestimated, right, coming out of the draft in Puka Nakua himself, and Sean Payton's system, which allowed Cooper Kupp to get those ridiculous numbers he got in the first place before he got hurt. You're seeing basically the Rams managed to land a younger, fresher version of Cooper Kupp that fits perfectly into Sean Payton's schematic. It'll be very interesting to see both of them now, to see what that offense could do to cook up the target opportunities to feed both of them.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult because they, like you said, they're kind of are the same receiver.
Yeah, right. They thrive in that in the slot position of just sheer volume, right?
So what's interesting is that Puka Nakua was a phenom in high school. And
in college, he did pretty well too.
No, he didn't though. He got injured in the beginning of college.
He got hurt.
He did, and he didn't play a ton through his injuries, and it unfortunately dropped him into the 5th round. I mean, he went the 5th round because he did not have a good college career.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of NFL analysts are seeing that maybe he was like a little bit of a diamond in the rough because he seems to be gifted. Like
he slipped under the radar just in the right timing, right?
He's so smart and he's so fast and he's so strong. And I think that's what really puts him above other slot receivers is that he's strong like a defensive player. And so he's getting a lot of touches. And I think he's going to continue getting a lot of touches, honestly. I was very
DJ Moore just got another touchdown.
That was a huge touchdown catch. That was awesome.
I'm so glad I sat him this week.
He's having a day.
I have to look this up now. He's got at least 30 points.
Yeah, he does. How many of those how many of all?
That's his 3rd touchdown.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And that was like a 60-yard, right? Like 40 of those yards were after the catch on a decent long pass.
So Matt has 32.9 points now.
Holy
Had
cow.
I started him in my other, which we have full PPR, 49 points.
Oh my gosh.
I have 49 points on my bench.
We'll have to ask
PPR.
Steph who has him in her league. I know she doesn't.
She has. Oh, who has DJ Moore?
Yeah.
Who has DJ Moore in our league?
I
Matt.
don't know.
Matt does.
I never.
That's fun.
Hey, Matt, I still haven't sent you your shirt. I need to do that.
I never think of DJ Moore, and now I wish I did. Man,
Focus.
he's having a day.
What were we talking about?
Anyway,
We're talking about Puka Nakua and the Rams.
the
And,
one
and so Go ahead, Pete. You
No,
finish this up.
no, go ahead. I was going to say he's the other receiver that could like spontaneously get 49 points at any given moment.
I mean, I think we have to take a second though and talk about the 2022 Rams. I think it matters. Right?
Why?
Last year's Rams with how bad they were, or this year's Rams how good
But
they
no,
are again?
the transition from the Super Bowl Rams to the terrible Rams to the reasonably good Rams right now.
Okay.
I mean, we have to talk about it.
So Matthew Stafford is a big part of that because he got
huge
hurt.
part.
He got hurt. Cooper Kupp got a little bit hurt, I believe, as well.
Yeah, he played a lot of last year hurt. Even when he was in, he wasn't fully himself.
They
Like
have
a serious Super Bowl hangover, right?
Right.
Like maybe
That
the
too.
most
Absolutely.
recent history.
Also lost.
I mean, they
Von Miller
also-
to the
they-
Bills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they traded Jalen Ramsey as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, a lot of the blue chip pieces went away, so they probably still had good depth, but
They still have Aaron Donald, though.
yeah, they still have Aaron Donald, but
Donald.
that team, right, that won the 2021 Super Bowl, was
Sadie knows all these names.
loaded with blue chip players. Yeah, sorry, Sadie.
No.
I mean,
go ahead.
geeking out in football a little bit here, but I mean that Rams team, the way I saw it, right, with how many first round picks they just gave up, they're just throwing them to the wind, like, here, take it. They bought themselves the Super Bowl in 2021, so that was not a sustainable model. But they got a Super Bowl, so who's to argue? I think John's right. 2022 is the realistic hangover that you get for doing that. But it's nice to see how quickly they're bouncing back into a relevant team again. I think they just needed that year off to just kind of reset a bit.
Holy shit. Matt has 76 points
Tonight?
tonight.
Holy shiitake mushrooms.
Poor Brandon. Sorry, Brandon. Good job, Matt. That's crazy.
Wow.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. All right. We're out of time.
What are we talking about?
Who can go up?
I try to
It's
answer
so
the question.
Samoan. I love Samoan.
I try to answer
I will
John's
protect
question
you.
about the Rams as, smartly as I could.
I will keep you safe.
You know, I was going a little bit off topic here, but not really. Matthew Stafford, there was some report that came out. This was while Cooper Kupp got hurt during the preseason.
Yeah.
And his wife, Kelly Stafford, came out and was on the defense of Matthew Stafford. Like, he doesn't really get along with anyone. He's so young.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
She did say that, and she said
Yes.
that she didn't know how to connect with them.
He doesn't know how to connect with all these 20-year-olds.
Yeah, because they're a rebuilding team and he's the old guy. That's amazing. Can we?
All right.
Sorry, real quickly before we
We have to go. It's 11.
We have to-
Two
All right,
topics.
never
It's
mind.
11:11.
Continue.
All right, I'm going to go off the soundboard. I'm going to go off the soundboard.
At least 10 minutes left.
Do it.
Hello. Do you have a next topic? I do.
All right, so my last topic is hopefully going to be a positive one, or at least I hope it does, because I'm going to mention a somewhat polarizing celebrity. Now, we talked about the Taylor Swift effect on Travis Kelce last episode. Well, the whole NFL... I'm sorry, I'm boring you, John.
I just don't sleep.
Now, the whole NFL has embraced Swifties, and they have a good reason to, as last week's Sunday night NFL game between the Chiefs and the Jets, which Taylor had attended, was the highest rated TV show since the Super Bowl, averaging 27 million viewers. That total surpassed last year's average for the NBA Finals and World Series combined. Needless to say, Taylor has got the Midas touch when it comes to popularity. So everyone, and I'm going to start with Sadie on this one, what are some other things that we wish Taylor Swift would attach her names to?
I don't know about that, but all I know is that us ladies love Taylor Swift, and we're going to support her in whatever she does. And for some reason, we really have decided that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are a really good pair, and he's the one.
I've heard.
I don't know about that.
I've heard this matchup has
I
won
know, I
general
know.
approval amongst Swifties.
But you know what, though? It's that whole Taylor Swift and her numbers and everything. Like, there's like the number 13 has a bunch of meaning to her. And like, she met so-and-so on the 13th, and she's had, 12 boyfriends. The 13th is going to be the one. Like, all of that kind of like numerology, like cosmic kind of lineups. And I guess a bunch of it lines up with Travis Kelce, which everyone's really kind of holding on to, I guess.
So,
Interesting.
and Sadie, and I'm going to ask you this question, you being the only woman on the show right now. Sometimes when you get out of like a really emotional, long-term relationship, theoretically with a man she thought she was going to marry, isn't like a fun fling with a 6'5" athlete
Rebound.
kind of fun? I mean,
Yeah.
this is what this smells like to me, at least. I mean, he's reasonably handsome. He's incredibly wealthy. He seems like he's a lot of fun. I mean, there are a lot of reasons that this is a good match, and none of them are that she's going to marry him.
It's true. It's true. I feel like the last person that she was rumored to have been dating was wasn't it Maddie Healy or something like that?
Oh, Steph would know this
You mean,
one,
What-
but I,
you mean after Joel Alwyn?
There was a one jerk
Yeah.
after Joel, I believe.
Yeah.
That'll,
And like
I doubt it was
he
anything
rings
serious,
more of the
though.
bell of that because that guy was really kind of like that kind of like red flag wild time.
Yeah.
You know that we'd be looking for
Sure.
that kind of.
What I also
scenario.
thought was interesting about the game at MetLife is that she brought all her friends.
Oh, yeah. There were
So many
Ryan Reynolds and
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman, Blake
Yeah.
Lively.
Right.
Oh, who?
Sabrina
you know
Carpenter
what?
came.
Oh,
Wasn't there the rumor that
the Queen
Taylor
of the
Swift
North was
supposed
in
to
there too,
be-
wasn't she?
Yes, yes.
Sophie Turner
Yeah.
was there.
Sophie Turner, yep, who is going through a divorce right
Mhm.
now. Apparently, she's been out and about with Taylor a lot recently.
Yep.
But there was also a rumor that I guess they were trying to get Taylor to play some superhero. What was it, like the Dazzler or something like that,
Huh.
in one of the upcoming like Marvel like X-Men movies.
see her
And
being
like
Dazzler.
that right there.
Dazzler is an X person. Yeah.
For sure.
Yes,
X-Men.
and like the cast of like Deadpool was there, and like I don't remember if it was like the producer or
Oh,
what.
Hugh
but somebody
was
else
there, by the way. You're right.
Huh.
Yes, yep.
Hugh and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, they're
There were
trying to
a
recruit
lot
her,
of
I bet.
coincidences, yep, in that set of celebrities
Hmm.
that went to that game with her. So
Was there?
They've tried the whole.
You
acting
think they
thing
brought
with
Sabrina
Taylor,
Carpenter
though.
just to serve drinks or something? She seems like she doesn't fit.
yeah,
All right, but
I mean,
let-
Or maybe it was just to
but-
piss Olivia Rodrigo
Okay.
off, because apparently
yeah,
As far
but
as
Olivia
there
ratings
there
go.
are a lot.
Let's go back to the original question. Sadie, is there something that you wish Taylor Swift would
Oh,
attach
yeah,
her
right.
name to that maybe you are personally involved with?
I feel like you want me to say tennis.
No,
No,
maybe
he
that has
wants
to
you to
do
say
with
some-
crocheting.
He wants you to talk about the thing that you're
Talk
doing.
about your Etsy store.
Oh.
This
You
is
know
your
what?
time to plug.
I wish I could say that was a smooth transition, but I would be lying.
It was
we'll,
not.
We'll edit it out.
okay.
We'll edit it to make it seem like a
Alright.
smooth transition.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, will we? Because this is
Yeah,
great.
there's some AI-driven button in Adobe that'll do that for us, right? Not a sponsor.
Yeah, sure. I'd love for Taylor Swift to buy some of my crochet merchandise. that you
Let's
can
talk
find.
about the thing that where you can find your crochet merchandise
Yeah.
and what your crochet merchandise is.
Yes. So on Etsy, I have a shop called Hummingbird and Hook.
It's a great name, by the way.
It's good.
Thank you. I did decide on it myself. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I've been making amigurumi stuffed animals. I'm currently working on some purses that hopefully I'll get out on the store sometime soon. And I also take commissions. I've been doing a lot of commission work with my crochet and everything. And it's been going pretty well, but I would definitely suggest if you're into that type of thing, go check out my store and my Instagram also, same handle, Hummingbird and Hook, where I've been posting a lot of stuff that isn't yet on the store, but will be sometime soon.
Very cool.
We're totally going to tag Taylor Swift, by the way, in a post.
Oh, yeah, of
To
course.
see whether or not she
Totally
likes it.
fine.
You know.
Totally
It-
fine.
it could
I'll
happen.
You know
It
what?
could happen.
I'll
You're gonna
crochet
add her?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
crochet
absolutely,
her
absolutely.
Nice.
her wedding bouquet for when she marries Travis Kelce.
Oh.
You can crochet flowers, so I'll crochet that for her.
Nice. By the way, in ways for the NFL and sports betting to take advantage of this phenomenon that's happening now with Taylor Swift gracing the NFL with her presence, was there an over-under for the number of times that the camera would turn over to the press box where she was in?
I do not know, but there was a while where I was doing a shot every time Taylor Swift was shown on Sunday Night Football. And after a while, we stopped because
Too much.
It was a lot.
it was a school night.
I mean, she like seems like she really likes to be at a football game. And I mean,
Yeah, it does look like
Listen,
she's having
That's
fun.
what she
It's a lot
does.
of fun.
She goes
Listen,
110% to everything.
being
she
at a
does.
football
Why not?
game when you're super rich is a lot of fun.
Pretty cool.
And anytime that Mark has decided to take us to meet the World Series trophy, or anytime that like we've spent a bunch of money to go to a sporting event, it's really fun.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get free drinks and
It's
free
funny how
food.
Mark has done that a lot.
It's true. It's true.
We
free
appreciate
drinks, and
Monster
free food.
seats, private suites.
Mhm. We
Yeah,
appreciate you,
yeah.
Mark. That was awesome.
That's great. We should sit on the Monster again. We should bring Pete to the Monster.
I was there.
I like those seats.
Pete was on the suite. He wasn't the monster.
I was on top of the monster.
You were on top of the Monster.
Oh, you
in
took
the
a
suite.
picture though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to 3-4 seasons ago. Mark, Jeff, and I sat on the Green
Long
Monster,
time ago.
which was
Oh,
really
okay.
really fun.
That's cool.
Were we second row or front
Front
row
row.
on the monster?
It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
I put my legs up. I have great pictures.
Oh, I love that seat.
Everybody
I
will
love that
notice that every hero shot on the website is from a sporting event that I've been at, probably with Mark
You guys have done a lot.
and or Pete.
Yeah.
We've been
That
at
is
lot
that
of
a
stuff.
truth fact.
That is a truth fact. I love my hero shots.
Hero shots. I don't know where that came from, but
All right.
Oh, also we have 19 seconds left, and it came up.
oh,
Did you guys see that I've changed the AI story hour on the website to time with Firefly? So I'm playing with Firefly image creation. So if you guys have any ideas,
Ooh.
you let me know.
okay.
Right now, there's a brown bear doing ballet in a tutu, so it's awesome. You should look at it.
That's a good start.
That's
it's a good
they got the fat contest going on right now, right? So that's good timing for that.
Yeah, it's good timing. Jamie came up with it because she's a genius.
That's cool.
And we're done.
Love it.
I knew I had time for that.
Okay.
Do we do
Love
it?
No.
Do we do it?
No, you
Do we
did
do
it
it?
like
Do
one
we do it?
episode ago.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da.
I'm gonna hide.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's the final topic.
Amazing. And because I was going to ask another football question, but we've done too many football questions, and I like when Sadie participates. So, we just
You're
keep
right. I don't know any of the names. You're right.
It's
we
all
just
good.
keep talking about gymnastics phenom and actual GOAT Simone Biles. And so
Actual goat.
yesterday in Antwerp, Belgium, she led the U.S. women's team to a record 7th consecutive title at the World Gymnastics Championship, where they combined for a total of 167.729 points. Biles now has 26, that's right, 26 world championships, 20 of them gold to go with her 7 Olympic medals. Biles now has won every meet entered since making her return to elite gymnastics 2 months ago. As a shoe-in for the 2024 Olympic team, do you think she's ready for the big stage again? And is she better after taking time off for her mental health?
You could argue that she is,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so most U.S. gymnasts age out at like 23 or 24.
Well, the
which,
women, the women have.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, not that old.
Yeah.
But in gymnastics world, for whatever reason, it is deemed old. Now,
Right.
Simone Biles is 26.
26. I had that.
So she'll be 27 for next year's Olympic Games in Paris. But she seems to be just as good as she's ever been, right?
Who would have
As she's
thought?
ever been.
This is an
You know what
awesome
though?
thing.
I feel like that whole like aging out at 23, 24 thing is just a precedent set by themselves, like their environment.
it
Like
could
the
be.
pressure that they put on their gymnasts and everything. Like I feel like the fact that Simone has like brought so much attention to certain things, like you know how she like calls them the twisties and everything. There's that
Oh yeah.
in like really every sport, you know, like sometimes in tennis, like your forehand will just go out and you're like, why? And it's just a mental block, you know? And I feel like the fact that she's, you know, been able to bring more awareness to that, like there's more light being shed on these, you know, phenomenons, taking care of yourself and everything like that. If they did that from the very start, like there wouldn't be so many injuries, there wouldn't be so many limitations. You'd see more players like Simone, like a little bit older, like actually making it further in their careers.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of that. Yeah, it's a little bit of that, but also just the physical. What happens to the human body when you when you go into your 20s? Because keep in mind when you're 14, 15, 16 years old, especially when you're a gymnast, you're a little tiny little thing. Dominique Moceanu, I think, is one of the perfect examples of this.
Yep.
16 years old. She was incredible when she was younger on the Olympic team. She also tried to make the Olympic team when she was 24. Granted, she's still a little itty bitty thing, but she's a little, and for lack of a better word, thicker because she's gained a little bit more muscle. And she's just not as minute and tiny as she was when she was 16.
Pretty sure you can't say that, Mark.
I know. But no, this happens a lot though. Like Kim Zmeskal was my all-time favorite gymnast when I was growing up. I love that girl. She had one of the best floor routines I remember. And then they did another thing later when like as adults, and just the sheer again, like her body has just changed in a way where she's a lot more her muscles are like bigger. She has big shoulders, and that's something that when you're a gymnast you can't necessarily have. Now what Simone Biles has done is like, yes, she's a little bit older, but she's still about the same body type and size that she was when she was younger. So that's kind of helped. Has she done anything about that? I honestly don't know, but
she's so strong.
Yeah.
She's so strong.
Yes,
so strong.
She's strong and lean. She's strong and lean.
It's true. But I feel like that might bring up, a different topic of like, should those standards for younger girls who aren't fully developed yet, should those remain the standard for gymnasts,
Right.
or should there be a different standard for like young impressionable girls that obviously, in history have been taken advantage of, abused, like all of that kind of thing? Like, should that standard actually change and evolve a little bit?
I mean, I think we need to change. We need to remove standards from almost everything.
Yeah, when it comes to that
Everything.
kind of stuff,
I think that there is an unfortunate truth in sports, and especially women's sports when you think about it, but a truth in sports where and in the world where it's okay to have the twisties. I mean, I think that as humans, we're all anxious. I am a very anxious creature. And for many, many years, I have used my anxiety, and my anxiety used to feel like focus, and it used to even almost in a way it used to like kind of represent itself as focus because I was so anxious, and the only way I can not feel anxious is be controlling, right? To be controlling and to be on the ball. And I mean, and my life is not Olympic gymnastics, right? And it's not the NFL, and it's not anything that's really super high pressure. Like, it feels high pressure, but it's less. And I think mental health in sports is just so important. And just really the acceptance of mental health in the world. It's okay to be different. It's okay to feel weird. It's okay to be nervous. I tell Jamie this all the time. The way you feel is normal. And everyone, like you look out in the world and you feel like you're the only one that feels nervous, but that's actually not true because everyone does, and no one's looking at you because they're busy looking at themselves. And I only am able to say that because I'm a 42-year-old man. That's it. It's the only reason, because when I was 20, I didn't think this. Shit, when I was 30, I didn't think this.
Yeah. I'm glad to see that it seems like maybe Simone has gained that perspective too. At least I hope so, that she's able to not let this stuff affect her like it used to. And if it still does, it's okay. Maybe taking that time off is the best thing she could have done.
I think, going back to that, I actually think that was a really smart move for her, especially if her goal was to be at the top of her game by the time the Olympics came around.
Yeah. She's playing the long game, and it's beautifully paid off.
I mean, just let's think about it this way. If Simone Biles doesn't have anxiety anymore, holy shit, we're at the gymnastic world is in a lot of trouble.
There's no stopping her.
A lot. No stopping her. And there we go.
And there's no stopping the end of the show. Sorry.
That was really very smooth, Pete. Completely on target.
That is a true fact.
Right.
We didn't really use the soundboard that much this episode.
No, we were just so interesting.
All right, ready, Pete?
I'm ready.
So that has been our 10 topics. We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Sadie.
Thanks, Sadie.
Thanks for having me.
you.
Please subscribe to us on this very YouTube channel and follow or like us on the socials at If These Balls Pod on X, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. Our website is www.iftheseballscouldtalkpod.com. This is Mark Pescian for my partner John Campagna and producer Pete Steffen. That's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk. Bye, everyone.
If these balls could talk, they would walk.